Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, amazing, spectacularly wondrous Propagandacast. With me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master propaganda hero, psych defender of the fatherland, off here to a 1v1 on Mill Road. In the north, it is Kimbo, fighting for the Oberkommand West, Germany, Deutschland, rolling out here with the Großdeutschland Panzergrenadier Division with special operations, featuring radio silence, infiltration tactics, infrared Sturmgewehrs, artillery flares, and the Command Panther with infrared half-track. Medical supplies and Volksmers in the south, it is Iroha, fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union, Communist Stalin, and the 25th Tank Corps with armored assault, urban defense, and airborne troops with infantry, mine, and anti-tank and bulletins. And as always, a hearty thanks to my patrons and supporters, my own personal company of heroes, which keep me, supported through thick and thin. Big thanks to those people. You too can join the ranks by pledging on Patreon. You can always just donate yourself. Links in the description. PayPal or Patreon are the works. Always comment, like, share, subscribe, press the bell button. Keep Bessel a happy kitty. Double fronts there for Kimbo. Double fronts there for Iroha. So far, standard stuff. Got Kimbo's Sturmpioniere storming their way towards the eastern fuel point in the northwest. We got filtering up their sandbags here to help defend the point, make it harder for the socialists to get their hands on it. Consequently, sandbags as well to make it harder for the National Socialists to get their hands on that one. Third conscript there for Iroha. Sneaking westwards are the conscripts. Sneaking forward, sandbags up there. Good sandbagging there, or sandbag fighting positioning by Iroha. Done here, needs to get the troops moving. Sturmpionier under fire. First shots fired in engagement. Almost 2 minutes into the game here. We got the full squad moving up here, moving to support the Sturmpioniere. Sandbags there being, well, sandbag fighting position being built. In the west comes moving up for the fuel point there. So clearly Iroha hoping to perhaps disrupt Kimbo's early game, but Kimbo is perhaps disrupting Iroha's disruption. Or Iroha's just an ice cream disruption well enough. It's, bit of this and that. Sturmpionier pushing forward, can first clear out the engineers, quickly sneak under the bridge, which does leave the conscripts there exposed to the fact that the Sturmpionier as the first shot falls well there. Good play there by Kimbo, definitely catches Iroha off guard there. Fourth conscript there, retreats immediately. Good response there. Iroha could have tried to fight him more and get him maybe some extra hit in there, but at the same time just was suffering a lot of damage and a lot of casualties needlessly. And so in these cases, the best choice is always just make decisions as to back off, try not to lose manpower, and prepare yourself for another push. Up north here, contributing better progress here than the east. Good play there by Iroha, of course, much better there. There'll be a single focus here for Kimbo's command to hold them off. He's of course going to have to back them off eventually. Sturmpunch being rushed northwards, launched another focus squad as Kimbo of course moves in to deflect this socialist assault up north here, this Stalinist slaughter. As Kimbo's forces there being overwhelmed in this case, he could of course retreated fast, but decided maybe to hope to buy time, or just hope to get some more damage, but our way got minimal casualties considering how much he suffered in return. Yes, Basil, he threw away those false grenadiers. It's a shame. We get airborne troops here for Iroha, with featuring the airdrop weapons. Yes, airborne troops, the Soviet version. Discus, airborne rally points. Yes, no one ever uses airborne rally points, Basils. Guards, airborne troops, and the tactical Sturmwind rocket run. Yes, no one really uses it, Basil. I know. Anyways, got radio silence here from Kimbo. Linesmen, of course, move ahead faster. Very good. Get to position, but also maybe disrupt. Iroha try to make use of the mini map there. Ooh, mine off there. He actually possibly in the mine this spot, specifically knowing his opponent's going to try and sandbag it. That's definitely a sneaky Kimbo maneuver. And there you go. Overwhelming his opponent using the radio silence to quickly get a foot blitzkrieg off there. Thumbs up to Kimbo. Yes, it was really well done there, Basil. Try to go out there for Kimbo. In the south, we've got Fulton's the southern point. No, Oberkommand does not have access to Stoops. Yes, I know. It's silly. They could at least added headsers, but they decided on a Flam headser. Fulton's the conscript, and he's moving back up the country in the center. Fuel put out being harassed here by Kimbo's Fulton's Grenadiers. Very good play there. Definitely disrupting Iroha's resource income. We got more SPT-40s inbound there, giving him more firepower here versus Kimbo infantry. Upgraded frontal Vix. Better good there for Iroha. Less good for Kimbo. Yes, the SPT-40 is a very good upgrade, Basil. The conscript engineers charging over in the Volksgrenadiers. I mean, he's probably just hoped about as much time maybe get some other troops, but I get the Volks in there, then they're not moving. At which point the Volks are just going to get gunned down and gut it. Still, yeah, now more troops moving, so it's not going to matter. In the south, bit of skirmishing up between Kimbo and Iroha, but those Fultons will lose that due to being on the wrong side of the cover versus units with upgrades, and the Fulton's got nothing. Comfortable hut put here up there for Kimbo, very good. Flashing in here, trying to get that fuel point out of Iroha's hands, at least keep it out of Iroha's hands for a bit longer. Troops out of there. Skirmishing here, but again up close. The Conscripts with SVD-4s and the Fulton's on the right cover. You know, this should be a constant one engagement. Though we could get lucky here, he could get lucky. It's starting to look like he may just get lucky there. Petrov, it's semi-automatic. You don't need to pull back the bolt, you biscuit. Biscuit? Constant forces is going to push back the foot, but there you go. Driving the point right before that. And sneaks away. Well, sneaks away, runs away. Medic. Getting an upgrade first here for possibly a flak half track. No medics yet here. Send some overhauls here to that one. Making it overall a bit cheap. You can get out the medics fast. But interesting enough, Kimbo then doesn't go for the medics first. Anyways, grabbing the northern victory point here. We got more engineers there for Iroha. No engineers yet to take up here versus Kimbo. Storm Pioneer with 3 kills. Veterans 1 pushing back the Conscripts there. Shooting northwards here. Bit of heavy engagement, needs to retreat those Storm Pioneers soon. We've got lots of Conscripts up the quick threatening to wipe them out, then retreat. Definitely something that concerns Basil. Indeed. Medics then reinforcing or healing up the full Skundies. More troops running out there. No Basil, let go. No Basil. Can't donate fingers to me by biting them off first. That's not how donations work. That's not how fingers work. Ow, you little bastard. Anyways, heavy fighting around here. Contracting at the Fulton's definitely not a great engagement for Kimbo. Great engagement for Iroha since he's got cover. Oh, we do get grenade assaults, and maybe that was hoping to bait him in, but even then that ends up being somewhat costly and mostly ends up blowing apart, you know, boxes. Which is not going to be like, you know, the biggest loss for the Soviet Union. Hardly something that's going to keep Stalin up at night. But Beria, what about all of the wooden boxes? Do not worry, comrade Stalin. We will get more boxes. But what about the boxes to the lost, Beria? Do not worry, we will avenge the boxes. Good. Just bring up northwards here. Iroha really controlling here Kimbo's front line there. That's not great. Of course, he's going for the flak half track soon, and that will provide some significant firepower against Iroha, who has yet to take up. He is not upgraded for any grenade packages yet either. We got more weapons drop there for Iroha and the Red Army. So soon Kimbo and the Großdeutschland Panzergrenadier Division will access to the T-51-17. Just reinforcing, healing. There we go. Flak half track out. Bit of skirmishing here. Engineers routed.
Ready for action.
So we're getting them ready, getting assault rifles out there for the Fulskundies. That's definitely a bit of a handy upgrade. We've got the contract and the Fulskundies in the south. Drives in the court laying down sandbags. Great timing there for Iroha. Less great timing for Kimbo. Routed here with the arrival of the flak half track. Iroha very sensibly, of course, takes no chances since the flak half track, you see, they can quickly do a lot of depth. Shit, it only gets better at Veteran 2, by the way. Oh, hiccups. Definitely a bit of an awkward thing to have as a caster, hiccups. Anyways, comes up to the flak half track. Hammering away there. Of North Sturm Pioneer versus the Engineers. That's definitely a one by the Sturm Pioneers with the Minesweeper and only 3 assault rifles. That's still very much one by the Sturm Pioneers. Comes to the routed. There you go. Take care for Iroha. That's going to be field gun most likely. Yes, indeed. This is 3-divisional field gun, colloquially known as the Ratschbum by the Germans, due to the sound it made. E-1 stick for the tank in command. Russia T-70. Could also go for an F-6 or anti-aircraft traffic, we shall see here, but most likely the T-70, which, despite nerfs, is still quite good. It's just less superlative within its field of specialization, which is killing German infantry. Flak half tanking up there, 6 kills. Again, really a powerful weapon, and used efficiently, it can be really difficult for an ally player to deal with if they don't have, like, you know, a proper set of anti-tank weapons. It can be really dominating due to, like, the sheer amount of firepower and suppression it can lay down against any infantry. And again, once it gets to 32, it becomes absolutely amazing. Because at that point you can really just wipe. But there you go. You need to be careful, of course, not to, like, you know, think it's, you know, invincible or that powerful. But again, it is powerful. And in the, you know, hands of a good player, it is really uncomfortable for the opponent to have to deal with. And you've had following for Kimbo, probably in part to, you know, due to the possible anticipation he could lose the flak half track with his own silliness, but even then, having just more suppressive firepower as the surge is great. Can also be used like set up maybe to cover the flank of the flak half track or some other spot, and that way, you know, surprise the opponent. Of course, we know well by the fuel pond there and by Iroha's counter-attack, sheer numbers of Stalinist infantry charging in there, forcing the folks to retreat. In the south, sandbags there already done finally. We'll have to see what Kimbo does next. He will likely get a Kimbo. Oh, Iroha's pushing straight for the mechanized armor company. No dilly-dallying, no delaying. Straight for the T-34s. Iroha, of course, figures that, you know, that is actually a pretty good idea. And as it turns out, that is indeed a pretty good idea. Yes, Basil, he's rushing T-34s. That's a good idea. Lots of engineers in the center. No, he still can't go for Stoogs. Jumpon is charging forwards here. Radio signs there for Kimbo. Again, line for another counter attack here with Iroha, boosting up his infantry movement, and of course make it a bit harder for Iroha to keep track on the mini-map or the tactical map for that matter. Flak coming up, then you could find further fire cover here. Flak after around from the same angle, pushing in to keep the field guns at bay, and there you go, ambushing it there. Really good push here by Kimbo. Good, so say, multiple coordinate elements here with the infantry sneaking up behind. Iroha's front line is the flak half track on the infantry plus the infantry 4 strikes there. Really good play. Got the field gun. I don't think he can actually get his hands on it. But yeah, he's popping a grenade assault around it to keep his opponent's hands open for a bit longer. They hope the flak half track can somehow turn things around for more damage. It seems to be more or less almost working here for Kimbo. Grenade off there. Field gun's going to be cleared out again. Troops there. Still haven't upgraded anti-tank grenades. Oh my. But that said, Iroha's about to hit Kimbo with a T-34 some 6. And I'm fairly certain Kimbo is not expecting a T-34 some 6. I mean, those kind of rashes are sort of rare. I would say uncommon. Not rare, but uncommon. But again, if you are sort of ahead of your opponent, you haven't seen the T-70, something like that, after upon a certain amount of time, you should generally expect a T-34 some 6 rush unless your opponent is just not very good at the game. But as a rule of thumb, don't expect, you know, anticipate your opponent being bad at the game and assume your opponent's bad at the game. Assume they're good, in which case assume, and if you haven't seen a light tank after a certain point, they're probably pushing for a T-34 some 6 rush. Which is like what Iroha's doing here again. Thumbs up there. Kimbo has no anti-tank weapons. He's nowhere close to armor either. I mean, this is going to hurt a lot because the T-34 from 6 we've seen is quite good versus infantry. It is really good. Like, the T-70 sort of gets like most. The reputation of the T-34 from 6 is also incredibly good. In fact, it might actually be better in some ways. But there you go. Machine cleared out. That's stepping a blow there to Kimbo. Should have treated there. Sooner, flak half track all the way, that's your 2-bar way. This is the good spot, the sweet spot of the flak half track, at least, you know, the beginning of the good times for the flak half track, which is, by the way, also a jazz single by Lovenest. Good times with the flak half track. Anyways, flak half track can hold back every reinforce or repairs. The Kednev almost done. He's going to need probably another one there to have a good chance here against Iroha. Particularly since Iroha, of course, with this, it's already like, you know, set on the course of just starting to churn out the T-34 76s here versus Kimbo, like he's Disney pushing out Marvel movies. The South Engineers being forged, and the center console is the Volksgrenadiers. The North reinforcing, they're getting out there. Forged are being routed by the T-34, unsurprisingly. Black after with 11 kills, when need 2. Truck on the way for Kimbo, so going to be tech there for some armor, though it will take Kimbo some time to set up the infrastructure and, you know, start in his own Panzer IV production line. I mean, again, he's just going to be like, you know, spitting them out, like, you know, he's spitting out insults at the Scottish family union. Flak half track on the engineers. We've got air structure track on the flak half track. Oh, Oh! Oh, it worked, actually. Nice there, Kimbo. Apparently didn't even see it coming. Now they did the flak crew. And he's white. Very good there for Kimbo, but obviously doesn't quite make up for the loss of the flak half track here at the hands of Iroha. T-54 getting ready. So it's enforcing. Need to get up the cannon for great hit from the T-54 and the Fulton's getting one kill immediately. Okay, shoots. Almost made it, but gets caught up in some shrubbery. Second attempt shot like to go through, hits the T-54. Down to half of them, you get like kind of before it gets clear up. The So's got momentum in 40. Truck up there, can then authorize it, but of course will still be some time away from a Panzer IV, which is still just going to be like a good pick as Iroha. Good as the T-54. Good as the counter, but of course, if you don't just keep churning up T-54s, obviously the Panzer IV is going to get outnumbered. But you know, that's kind of how those things goes. Concentrating the Foot Committees here. Authorizing it, and not too far away from the Panzer IV Model J then. Sturmpionier routed here by Iroha's fervent Frontovic fighters. MG-34 setting up there, now 6-man. Controls to the Foot Committees, anti-tank grenades, well, and grenade package in general is ready.
Now you can use Molotovs to burn those bastards.
Very efficient there. And of course, could theoretically also upgrade to 7-man squads, even though we hadn't gone for the SVT-40. Troops heading westwards there. Continuing forwards here, Iroha. Still some time away from another T-34, which we got Kimbo to somewhat disrupt Iroha's fuel incomes. At least Iroha can't snowball the T-34s that fast, which gives Kimbo more time to bring out his own Panzer IV model. Yay. Well, that said, there's obviously limits to what he can do when his opponent has a tank. He doesn't. And then has one like Kevin Method. Plus he lost the back half track to a rocket strike. Sturmpioniers heading out. T-34 roaming about as well. Kimbo also taking infantry losses here. Definitely putting more advantage into Iroha's hands. He can go for the Panzer IV Model J now. Definitely should. He may of course also want to consider some orbital guidance, since upgraded with the infant as assault rifles. They could be quite potent as Iroha's infantry and support weapons. Maybe here Kimbo swing the game back in his favour. Iroha meanwhile bring up more. No, goes for the Katyusha. Katyusha rocket launcher, probably thinking what this gut counter will be able to stop Kimbo's Panzer IV, and he won't need additional armour for at least some time to hold that. We shall of course see if this proves to be a sensible prediction by Iroha. If this is going to turn out, well, not particularly well. Like that guy in the United States Army around 1944 December that figured, you know what, the Germans aren't going to attack through the Ardennes again. Boy, did he turn out to be wrong. Anyways, Foot's going to get the counters there. T-34 falling back. Katyusha almost done there for Iroha. Panham gun on the MG-34. Troops setting up. Ooh, further loss for Kimbo here. Definitely not great for Kimbo, but amazing for Iroha. I mean, Kimbo's down just 2 full gun squads in the Sturmpionier versus 4 conscripts with the assault, with the SVT-4. Just about to say assault rifles. That's that would be a very generous interpretation. But there you go, Panther IV, yeah, it's going to be a challenge there for Iroha's infantry, as the Panther IV is quite good versus infantry, particularly the Model J is quite good. So with the pin machine added, thumbs up there to Kimbo, but thumbs down to the unit preservation. There you go, contact now from the Panther IV, quick retreat here. Steadily advancing with the Panzerkampfwagen 4, Ausführung Jod. Ooh, mine goes off. Almost got a wipe there, but in the end, not quite. We'll have to see what Kimbo does about the infantry situation, but if he doesn't do anything about it, he's going to lose fast. Meanwhile, Iroha's bringing up another field gun, another SIS-3 divisional field gun. Got the BM-13 Katyusha rocket truck. Fun fact, they've organised something known as Guards Mortar Battalions, which I imagine was used as an initial deception trick to, like, you know, confuse the Germans, you know, so they weren't aware they're going to get hit by rockets. Fun fact. I think it's Guard Mortar. Was the rocket mortar? I can't. There was actually something with guards and mortars involved. Also, fun fact, There were numerous versions of the Katyusha rocket truck with different sizes of rockets, but also different types of trucks. Like I think some of the biggest ones were like mounted on Studebaker trucks, you know, from American Lend-Lease, which then mounted like rockets that I think easily twice the size of this one, but of course had then fewer rockets. A bit like how, for example, the Germans actually had different sizes of Nebelwerfer rockets. In fact, they had some that were quite massive. But there we go, Orbison here for Kimbo. Jumping on 5, the other thing we dropped dead here by a shot from the T-34 Panther gets a great hit there. But obviously it's going to need more than one great hit to take out the T-34 from his 6. At least in the game. Orbison squad ready here though for Kimbo and getting the Infrared Sturmgewehr 44, which has better performance as unit in cover, also of course better on the move and not close to medium range as the LMG-34. Obviously performs better at longer ranges though. This one also has the benefit of being cheaper now, so it's basically more cost efficient if you can get going with it. You got folks with the counter up here by the northern victory point. You got 225 to 323 countering an update here. Also holding up in the building and probably should evacuate the premises before that gets knocked out by a rocket strike, possibly. Well, there you go. Definitely some awkwardness there with Kimbo's infantry preservation. Or likely to drop a couple of things, but you know, not great there. Whatever the case, at least they hadn't finished the infant assault rifle upgrade. There's a really expensive loss there for Kimbo versus Iroha. Incredibly expensive. Not really particularly just the timing of it is particularly bad here for Kimbo, since again he's already short infantry, so it makes it just harder for him to only just lost another foot squad trying to recruit like Kevin. I mean, he did successfully recruit, but there's just that tiny matter that, you know, he's now down just 2 infantry squads. This is pretty bad. Got a rocket strike in, ignites some bits out of range of the T-34 trying to ram it. Does mean he gets the tank out of the way, which could convey an advantage for Kimbo, at least a brief fall, if he doesn't throw away the Panther 4 button. He really badly needs more infantry now versus Iroha. Absolutely priority needs to get out more infantry, and this time around needs to not throw it away by stuffing a building like that and then forgetting about it. You know, some rockets fly about. Grand Eastern fuel point here, we got 228 versus 323. Panther 4 starting away here, counters the full Grenadiers. Another continued radio silence push here. Veteran 4 gaining there, need to fix up that Panther 4, which is close to Veteran 2. Orbison squad number 2 almost done there for Kimbo. Close to the conscripts. Fixing up the Panther 4. Orbison moving ahead there with the Infrared Sturmgewehr upgrade this time again. We shall see if they, you know, actually manage to get to finish up the upgrade and not get murdered. Now the T-34 for Iroha and the Red Army. They got 1297 left here for Kimbo. Panther 4 fixed up, very close to 2, at which point it gets more accurate, which is obviously quite good for the infantry. Nice shot there. On the field gun. Panther 4 misses, but it's very close to 2. Machine gun might be able to get to this 2. There we go. And there we go. Bit more accuracy. If he remembers to hit. Grab the Eastern Pump with the Obersoldaten. You should probably just keep churning out Obersoldaten. I mean, getting, you know, 2 to 3 squads of Obersoldaten can actually be quite effective, since they actually pack an incredible punch as an infantry, which tend to get, I think, a bit neglected. So, like, get a lot of Obersoldaten. It can actually be very difficult for your opponent to fight you efficiently unless you basically misplay the Obersoldaten spectacularly. Another Katyusha barrage. Coming to smelt out the Obersoldaten. This time around, Kimbo does not immediately lose the Obersoldaten to a single rocket knocking out the behind him. It's certainly going to be close there. In the end, the major casualties of that rocket strike were possibly a few squirrels hiding about in the bushes. There you go, T-34 Wrangler getting the Obersoldaten. Panther 4 though fixed up again. Okay, setting up here. Good shot the conscript. Obersoldaten need to get out of there now and can actually go for more Obersoldaten. And can too soon go for another Panther 4 here versus Iroha. 2 Panther 4s versus Iroha would definitely be great for Kimbo and less great for Iroha. There you go, wipe the conscript, a small one here. There you go, lots of fire there at the Panther 4. Only 1 though hits and penetrates. That's pretty lucky there for Kimbo. Field guns keep flying away. They're hoping to get a lock shot on the Panther 4. 30 manpower, definitely should expand that on some more infantry. Artillery could also be an idea eventually once he gets up one from there. Go more on here for Kimbo. Focus pushing T-34 into Molotov here. Take loss from the T-34. There we go. T-34 with a damaged engine. There's the half-field foot squad needs to retreat before that gets exterminated. Obviously, I mean, need to reinforce. Some intense fighting here in the south between Kimbo and Iroha. And unfortunately, they've got the thing to contest with. And there you go. Only one shot hits. The L1 does go through when it hits. Concussed grenade off. Then the conscripts. Nice throw there by Kimbo. Kimbo gets cleared out. They're trying to get the T-34. Definitely another one of those more aggressive calls by Kimbo. That backfires on him. Conscript almost wiped out. Their second Orbison squad ready. Need to get the L1 fully reinforced and going again. There we go. Sturm Pioneer in a pretty tight spot. Still needs more infantry. We can now go for another Panther 4, and he definitely should. Sturm Pioneer getting actually 4 destroying the field gun. Oh, we're getting effort with the field guns. Panther 4's going to go for a blitz here, trying to clear out the field guns perhaps. Oh, go for the Katyusha straight ahead. I definitely like that idea. Particularly since Iroha clearly doesn't expect that. Good maneuver there by Kimbo. Does take a few hits, but even then he got the Katyusha, which is definitely nice. Then Iroha a strong artillery tool. Need to retreat those orbs on before they get wiped. The others are heading southwards here. Might want to push more effort on the west side as well as Iroha. Still not going for another Panzer IV, which should, I think, easily be a priority here for Kimbo and the Germans. Panzer IV very close to effective feeling, getting increased rate of fire and mobility. And there you go, Orbs and defending against southern fuel hit of victory. One against conscripts. Another Panzer IV Moldier there for Kimbo. Thumbs up. Reinforcing healing. Sturm Pioneers need to reinforce further. Bit too quick on the trigger finger there, Kimbo. He hasn't upgraded the second Orbison squad either. Got more armor running plus infantry to take the southern victory point. Kimbo's already backing off. I think that's very sensible. Sturm Pioneers going to repair the Panzer IV. Folks moving westwards. Trying to, I think, avoid the main force here from Iroha, which I think is a good maneuver. Just trying to think focus on the rest of the map right now, try and outmaneuver him, relying on the firepower and speed he does have to try and catch some of Iroha's units off guard, and that way sort of slowly chip away at him rather than trying to beat him in like a one big decisive engagement. Of course, currently he can't do that. So it's better just rely on what he has, which is a lot of firepower and some maneuver elements. Panther 4 being fixed up. Second Panther 4 almost done here for Kimbo. We got the Orbison special aim 24. We do have any 70 grenade perhaps. They just need to retreat with the T-34. That is absolutely going to be a lost engagement otherwise. But there you go. Second Panther 4 ready here for Kimbo, adding the pintle mounted MD-42. And we got another T-34-6 there on the way further. We got mines as well to try and catch the tanks. Thumbs up. Very good. We got 75 points there for Kimbo. Definitely starting to look pretty dicey. Needs to do something drastic to turn this around swiftly. Panther in the south here, capturing tactics bait with diversion. Our way that's the feed gained. Panther in the shoots going down the T-34 from 6.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
Got 2 victory points almost under control. Third T-34 was almost done. Comes under fire from the Sturm Pioneer and the Panther 4. Nice hit from the field gun there though. Can't think I believe it with the Sturm Pioneer Panther 4. We got the Orbison units as well here for 2 wipe here. Maybe like an opportunity to rush down here in the south to cut the stuff there, but the Panther 4 needs to be hold back for repairs. Might want to consider some more Sturm Pioneer action. At this point, more Orbison I think could also work out well. 63 versus 323. Panther 4 moving towards the centre, other Panther 4 moving back for repairs. We got another academy for Kimbo. I think you just add more infantry and just try and clear out the infantry support weapons with them. And then use the Panther 4 to clear out the armour. I think academy at this point might not be the ideal move here by Kimbo, but it could of course be wrong. He needs to get the Sturm Pioneers reinforced and more importantly, start fixing the Panther 4. Because that is his veteran fleet almost ready to fill Panther 4. Like that needs to be back in action absolutely now. The longer that is not being repaired, the worse I'd say for Kimbo. Need to pull back that Panther 4. Orbison was the constantly overwhelmed, he needs to retreat. Fixing up that Panzerkampfwagen 4 Ausführung Jod. Sturm Pioneers hard at work, they're fixing up the dents, the holes, and the sewed insoles. So we got 63 versus the 315 Panther moving southwards here, without support. Yeah, it's not a hard time there, got a decent hit there though. Troops reinforcing healing. That's definitely winning as well here. Staying a bit cautious here with the Panther 4. See if we can get some damage in. There you go. Hoorah! Quickly backing up for that Panzer campfire field to stay out of range. There we go. Panther 4 number 2 ready, or number 1 arguably. More engineers here for Iroha. And it looks like Mac tracks for a deeper flank here for Iroha. I think that is a fairly good idea. Of course, needs to keep it supported by infantry, or that's going to, I think, have a slightly short run down in Kimbo. They're going to hit with a cannon from Panther 4. Other Panther 4 moving forwards here. More mines here from Iroha. 2 thumbs up. Almost got the T-4. That'd be great to for Kimbo. Got it. So need to pull back and get that Panther 4 fixed up. Now they hit them the T-34 there. Panther 4 veteran 4 now, which means increased accuracy. Another great hit there. Almost got that T-34 as well. That'd be a stinging blow there to Iroha. In the center, got the option on the south. Also, conscripts. Another hit there from the Panther 4. The T-34. Another getting up ahead here, looking pretty bad. All of a sudden, Iroha, you could risk losing the T-34. More against Kimbo. No, gets away. Option about to get wiped out. And they do get wiped. Another stinging infantry blow here for Kimbo. That definitely seems to, like, I think the major issue for Kimbo so far in this match is his infantry preservation has been rather wanting. Like, he's lost a lot of infantry since we probably could have avoided it. Meanwhile, I think it has been, much better preserved his infantry. That said, though, Kimbo's arm preservation, for the most part, been fairly good. Ooh, that is some really bad luck. That could cost him the Panther 4. Yeah. Looks like his armor preservation is went down the toilet now as well. Rocket straight for the whiff. Lost the veteran for almost ace Panther 4. That's a definite blow there to Kimbo. Plus he's still shot infantry. He can go for another Panther 4 now, but the infantry issue is definitely piling up. And he lost the Academy effort again. Oh, he's lost another one. Pretty dicey situation here for Kimbo versus Iroha, but he's still getting some hits in there. He's definitely punching hard at Iroha below the belt, but it's just not quite proving to be enough. Iroha's proven to have balls of steel, so when he's punching below the belt, he may in fact be doing more harm to his own knuckles than he is to Iroha's jiggly bits. Another Panther 4 more gate ammo for Kimbo. Close with the second Panther 4. We got 50 versus 312. I mean, Kimbo is definitely a trooper here. Fighting onwards for the glory of Deutschland and Endsieg. But he is definitely meaning his match on Iroha. Panther 4 being hauled back. More orbs on here for Kimbo. No, cancels them. Probably has reinforces troops here. Which makes a lot of sense, to be honest. Going from northern victory points down to look very much like GG. I mean, Kimbo could still pull something off with the 2 Panther 4s and what little infantry is left, but it's going to be an increasingly large challenge for Kimbo trying to successfully deliver, I think, a more crippling blow to Iroha that Iroha can't as easily bounce back from, without also suffering heavy losses in the process, which I think is sort of been the major issue for Kimbo. Like, every single time he's done some damage to Iroha, he's usually taking more damage himself, which means he can't really exploit it, and like, hold on to the gains he gained. So there are definitely some challenges here for Kimbo, definitely some challenges, and a good deal of them are self-made, unfortunately. Or fortunately, with Iroha. MD34 they're finding way, Panther 4 moving in. Almost got the MD34 to get it back, that'd be quite helpful there for Kimbo. And obviously quite helpful for Iroha. Almost got it. Almost. Yes. And it's actually capturable in the center Panther 4 to the T-34. Just for the center victory points. Well hit. Good hit there. In the south, Sturm pinning forwards there. Bit aggressive extension here between Kimbo and Iroha. More importantly, Kimbo's the one who's extending again. Bringing it off here. T-34 flanking the T-34. Flanking the T-34 there. Go field is ready. Veteran 2 on the Panther 4. Maybe finding there, needs to get the Panther 4 through here. No checking from mines, but end up either spectacularly well or poorly for the Panther 4 there. Sturm Pioneer routed. He's going for a deep flank, but again, not knowing where their mines. This could backfire on him. There goes T-4's going to ram him, and does successfully pull it off here on the Panther 4. Damage engine rocket strike in. Needs like weird off with a damage engine. It's going to be tough. Dodged most of it. Need to get the infantry officer support here. Heavy fun around the centre here. We got 52. Oh dear. 1. And I think with that it is GG here for Kimbo. Close actually. I mean, if he hadn't been so short on victory points, I think this might have been the point where he actually turns around versus Iroha, but I think partly again just the infant losses which made it hard for him to maintain his map control, rather just again also sort of just having, you know, not enough victory points then to actually like pull through here despite all of this. So yeah, either way though, I think it's an interesting match here with some good plays from both sides, but again Iroha was consistently undermined by his own weak infantry preservation, which allowed Iroha to maintain a much stronger field presence, of course much better map control, and also maintain a stronger victory point lead. Because I would say Iroha, Kimbo definitely, I think, in more ways played better aggressively, but again just kept throwing away his infantry, which really just gave Iroha the match in the long run. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell friends, tell family, tell enemies. This is Imperial Links. Cheers. Thank you for watching. Up till tomorrow again for a nice episode. Bye.